Alright guys, so I'm going to talk about our trading method A. Trading method A is the method that we are going to use when the condition of the ATR is above the yellow line. So basically, if you look at the PDF file, trading method A, the conditions are the ATR is above the yellow line and the relative strength index is outside the 70-30 channel. And the rule for entry is turn on the robot when the stochastic crosses, and that is after the RSI is outside the channel. Okay, and remember that I told you guys to set the alert, the RSI alert, to maybe above 70 and below 30, maybe about above 73 or below 27, or above 75 or below 25. So this is up to you between the two. I'm using above 73 and below 27 for the time being. It's working quite okay, but of course the further it goes outside the channel, the higher chance you can actually win, right? So as the next point has mentioned, the stochastic RSI must also be outside the 80-20 channel. So it is a very good rule to remember, so you guys should remember these rules. So the first condition is above the yellow line, ATR above the yellow line. Second rule is the RSI must go out the channel, and you guys can set up the alert here. The alert for RSI for method A, it's as such. You can do this: relative strength index 9 exceeding 73 or below 27, or you can do upper boundary 75, lower boundary 25. It is up to you. So we look at these settings, and you can simply turn on by clicking the play button here, or you can learn how to add these alerts in the tutorial videos towards the end of the trading view tutorial section. Alright, so let's repeat that again. The first rule, ATR above the yellow line. The second thing, you wait for RSI to go outside the channel, and then after the RSI go out the channel, hold on, I need to change the stochastic. This is method B stochastic, so this method A. So let's take an example here. Over here, this region here, the ATR is above the yellow line, the RSI did go outside the channel. So during this period, we'll be waiting for the stochastic to cross. ATR starting from here actually. So if we look over here at this bar, the blue line has crossed the red line. If you look closely over here at this segment over here, once the blue line has visibly cross the red line and the blue line is lower than the red line, we turn on the robot immediately at perhaps after this bar. Yeah, this bar actually. So our entry would have been like maybe about here. So it's a pretty good entry actually for 7-minute expiry. So that's one example for method A. So let's practice that again. First thing for method A, look for ATR above the yellow line. Second thing, the RSI must be outside the channel, and once the RSI is outside the channel, we look for stochastic cross to turn on the robot. Yeah, so pretty simple, right? So another example is let's say over here, above the yellow line, ATR above the yellow line, and the RSI is outside the channel. Yeah, this RSI situation here around this region, as you can see, is quite choppy, so that's why sometimes it's good to do a little bit like higher RSI value. Alright, so let's take this as an example. ATR is above the yellow line, we wait for RSI go outside the channel, and then we will wait for crosses to happen. So our first cross that happens here, we may have entered over here because there's a first visible time where the blue line actually crossed the red line, so it is totally fine actually. It's actually a good entry if you enter at about this bar like about here. Not too bad actually. So one, yeah, so this entry would have been fine. Okay, so let me repeat again. Above the yellow line, ATR above the yellow line, we'll wait for RSI to go outside the channel, and once the RSI go out the channel, the alarm will probably prompt you when the RSI is outside the channel, and you guys just gotta check and wait for the stochastic cross, and once the cross happen, we'll turn on the robot. Okay, and that's for method A. And always remember to look at the other nodes and the RSI. Okay, so also remember that the stochastic RSI cross that you refer to must be outside the 80-20 channel. So for example, like crosses between the channel here, we don't take it, alright, inside the channel. The crosses must happen like, you know, outside the channel. Okay, that's also an important note. And also remember to take one trade and then turn off the robot, and only one trade at a time, alright? Sometimes the RSI might come out twice, but if you already have an open trade, do not force another trade until you guys should split your risk in another market situation instead. Alright, so I think it's pretty much simple. Method A. In fact, method B is actually simpler. It's just that you guys need to wait for the ATR to be between blue and yellow line. So I'm gonna explain method B in the next clip. Alright, so be right back, guys. Alright guys, so now I'm gonna explain the method B. So we take a look at my PDF notes. So trading method B, so it is for the average true range between the blue and the yellow line. Do not use this if the ATR is hugging the blue line or directly on the blue line. It must be moving between the blue and yellow, forming an oscillation or wave shape. So something like this. This is a good example. So the example when to not use method B. So it will be like this region over here when it is below the blue line. Let me see. Let me drag this ATR. It is auto scaling. It's not auto scale. Right. So let me drag it up. So this ATR is below the blue line, so over here it is not good. However, the one next to it is good because it's in between the yellow and blue line. This region here is pretty good, and the thing is, even though it moves outside the yellow line for a bit and you guys are still using method B, it is fine. You guys can actually do method B. So let's see, method B. I need to, once you see a method B ATR condition, you guys must remember to change your stochastic setting to the method B setting. So yeah, so as you can see, even if the ATR is slightly above the blue yellow line, if you guys were to follow method B and enter a trade maybe at this bar here, it would have been fine as well. If you I think the robot would have done a good trade, very likely to do a good trade anyway, so it would have been fine. But if you guys prefer to change to method A immediately after the ATR has crossed the yellow line, it's also fine. So if it crosses the yellow line, above the yellow line, you just simply change your stochastic settings back to the method A settings, which is this. But right now we are doing method B. So let's say over here the yellow ATR moves below the yellow line. The moment it goes below the yellow line, we should change our stochastic to method B instantly, because we are losing volatility, so we will need better timing tool to cope with this situation. So if it's just like hugging the yellow line or on the yellow line or slightly below the yellow line, it is fine. You guys can change, do the trade. But however, if it's hugging the blue line or forming a flat blue line, do not use the method B. Because we are losing the volatility to actually trade properly. Okay, so that is one important rule. Okay, so the condition for method B is, as such, the ATR is in between blue and yellow line. Change the stochastic settings to this, and we don't need to use the RSI. Alright, so wait for the stochastic RSI blue line and red line to cross each other. Ideally, it works best when the cross happens either after the red or blue line is outside the 2080. So I probably mentioned in this old tutorial clip, that means that we only take crosses that happen outside the channel, or at least one of the lines cross outside the channel, the 80-20 channel. The 80-20 channel is the purple zone here. So after each cross outside, like, we have to wait for either the blue or the red line to cross outside the channel, and then we'll take the trade. For example, this trade here, this cross happened, it is a good trade, but this is you could have used method A, is fine, but nevertheless, once the cross happen, we'll wait for either the blue or the red line to go outside the 80-20 channel before we take the trade. So for example, this cross is still within the channel, so we do not take the trade here, and he crosses again, but we do not take the trade again. But here, after the blue line has exited the 80-20 channel and it crosses the red line, we can take this trade. This one is a good trade. And then, like, for the next condition here, then we lose volatility, it goes the blue line. Okay, then we will stop taking a trade. And so once the volatility, the ATR level comes back between the blue and the yellow line, so we can use back again. This region we probably do not take the trade at this cross because the ATR is directly on the blue line. But once the volatility or the ATR level has increased back again between this zone over here, between the blue and the yellow line over here, this zone, oops, sorry, it's not a good example, I draw it too big. So, like this zone here, so the ATR came back to an acceptable level, and then the blue line actually went out the channel, so that means we can actually take the trade when it crosses the red line. So when it crosses here, which I've actually taken a trade and we won, and then as it goes back down, both the line went out the channel, so we can actually take the trade over here as well at this bar. We could have taken at this bar also, but then after that the stochastic went out. This cross will be acceptable as well, but the ATR is not in the required zone. Okay, so I hope you guys understand what I meant by the red and blue line works best outside the 80-20 channel. So basically, one of the lines has to cross outside the 80-20 channel before the cross happens to have a high percentage trade. Okay, so for example, this zone right here, as indicated here, ideally these ATR zones are very good to trade. However, the stochastic cross within this zone over here, this is a bad cross because it hasn't exited the channel. This is also a bad cross, hasn't exited the channel, but once the blue line exits the channel and it cross over here, this would have been a good one, a good trade. Okay, so that is for method B. Alright, so I hope this tutorial video helped you guys. It's a pretty short tutorial for method A and B. The notes in the entire PDF is actually very useful, so make sure you guys read and understand it. If you guys do not understand, please feel free to email me. Also drop me a Skype message. I will actually answer them as soon as I can. Alright, so that's all guys. Good luck and trade safe.